One of the hardest pills to swallow for me was that it was never about me and all about them just needing someone to play that role. Nothing about me attracted someone. Nothing about me is what they actually wanted. I just was tolerable enough to be the vessel to get what they actually needed. They didn't like me for me. I just had a car and they really needed a ride. And so they tolerated me for the ride. It wasn't my bright personality. They just wanted to have sex. And they didn't look at me as a full human being with pros and cons and a personality and wit. They didn't look at me for all of those things. They just looked at me for what I literally could do for them. And it stopped and started there. And that shit hurts. I remember laying in the bed and cuddling with someone at night, and as soon as we woke up in the morning, they would get up, leave, or they would act extremely distant, or they would just be weird. And I'd be like, we were just cuddling. It's because they are not attracted to me. They don't want me. They just don't want to feel alone. And so that cuddling sufficed for now. It didn't matter if I was a grizzly bear. They just didn't want to feel alone. Because if I hadn't been there, they would have cuddled with a blanket or a pillow. If I hadn't been there, it would have been someone else. They just don't want to feel alone. And I just so happen to be the placeholder for now. So going forward, make sure that someone actually wants you for you. Talk about things that interest you and see how they respond. That's been the biggest game changer for me, because I'll talk about things that interest me or things that I like or things like that, and they get extremely turned off. And I say, oh, maybe you're just being overbearing. Maybe you're talking too much. Maybe you're just, no. It's because they didn't like me, what I have to bring to the table, my personality, my attributes, my pros and cons. They didn't like me. They tolerated me for whatever they could get out of me. Whether it be a ride, whether it be sex, whether it be instant gratification through text messages. They just needed someone, and I happened to be around. So every time you say, well, we have all this history and I just don't want to let them go. You know, I feel like he loves me, or he might. We have all this connection. I've been connecting with him. You've been connecting with him, with the image that you wanted to see, because that's not what they put forward. We're just so used to not being accepted by anybody that when someone actually just takes up our space, we think that's being wanted, and it's not. So make sure they love you for you and not for the placeholder they're trying to make you be.